done 10 minutes on the Stairmaster, and instead of having to use my yoga blocks in my bag, I've just found these near the hack, and I'm seeing if I can use this. Probably not a good idea, it's wobbly. Last thing I want. So add a bit of weight onto that and it drops. It's like 6 in the morning, I'm knackered. And just done 10 minutes on the Stairmaster. It's freezing in here, that's why I got my body warmer on. And I'm starting with a hack today, getting quads out of the way because they're hard and they're a priority. Do them while I'm fresh, or at least don't feel fresh, but you know what I mean. But this, we're going to do a bit of abs, decline sit-ups on a GHD, because they work the hip flexors. And whenever you train your hip flexors before you do like a quad squat compound, it helps so much with the knees. Like, I only really found this out this year, or last year, and obviously the hip flexor and the rectus femoris, they're all like big tight muscles that pull on the quad and the knee. And if they're tight, very often people get like patella tendonitis and stuff like that. And I've had that before, and it took ages to get rid of it. And I got rid of it with heavy foam rolling on my hip flexors and couch stretches. But I just found randomly from doing this before a hack one day on the decline sit-up bench that my knees felt amazing, so I just do it all the time now. Abs are on fire. Let's get the yoga blocks out. I should probably do a warm-up set, but you know what? I just fancy going straight into it. I wouldn't recommend this. I just know my body quite well. I know my knees should be okay. 3 plates a side ain't too much. I mean, back in the day I've done like 5, nearly 6 plates a side. Anyway, 3 plates, fresh. I should be able to get at least 6. We'll see. Straight into it. I could regret this. I could regret this. You never know. Don't do this at home. I just want to crack on. And I go very, very slow as well. That's one good thing about slowing your tempo right down, which no young guy is ever going to do or want to do. When you get a bit older like me, slowing down has the same growth results as going fast, but it's way safer. And there's potentially some other benefits. Pros and cons to both. All right, let's go. Ooh. Ooh. See, knees feel so good after doing abs, it's unbelievable. Most people can't do the hack because it hurts their knees, let alone go full knee bend like this with no warm-up. 3 plates aside, well, tiny warm-up. So abs is probably the only muscle that I don't really train super heavy like all the other muscles in a low rep range. Sometimes I do. It's a bit awkward to like, the amount of weight I'd need is about 40 kilos and that'd be a bit awkward to hold. I'm only really training them as well to warm up my knees. Originally I started training them to develop my abs, but my abs are all right, and then they started developing my obliques, and I've already got quite wide high hips, and then these obliques started poking out as well, so I don't really want to grow them anymore. I've not gone above 3 plates in a very long time. Let's try 3.5 plates. Feeling good, feeling strong today, so why not? I think if I got 6 reps last time, I'll go for 4 reps with an extra 10. Let's do this. Usually, I train calves as well before I do my hacks. That's to improve my ankle mobility, allow more forward knee travel. More forward knee travel allows more knee bend. But the Nautilus hack is quite unique in that the foot panel is so slanted forward that you don't even need to improve your ankle mobility. You don't even need squat shoes with a heel or my other trainers that I've got with a heel, because it already acts as if you're on a massive, like as if you're wearing massive heels, which is amazing because even for someone who has bad mobility, you can get full depth. The only problem is these metal stoppers. Obviously that's why I've got the yoga blocks. Right, let's go. But without training calves beforehand, I can feel it a tiny bit. My ankle mobility sort of getting in not in the way because I'm getting full depth, but I could probably have my feet even lower if I train my calves, but there's no point really. Like, we're talking minor details here. Right, let's go. One more. Jesus. That was 4 reps, and to be honest, probably could have got 6 if I went all out. But I train every 2 days. 2 sets. The science clearly shows that I've stimulated growth and I've not hurt my quads so much so that they need a day or 2 to recover, to even begin growing. So now they'll recover quickly within maybe the rest of today, and then they'll grow tomorrow, and then they'll be ready to be hit again the following day. That's the way I think about it. Compare that to like 5 years ago. Oh God, I'd spend an hour on quads, and you know, I'd need days just to even recover, not even grow. By the time they've recovered, you know, the growing's probably don't get much growth. But anyway, that's abs and quads done. So now, it's weird because usually I do calves and hamstrings only to prepare me for this, but they're not really a priority. Next priority is arms, so we're going to go on to that. Yeah, why am I doing triceps before biceps? No real reason at all. I'll get a pump, and when I do biceps, you know what I mean, my arm will look even bigger. Simple as that, really. And triceps a little bit easier. Biceps, you get the whole body involved if you're doing standing, but if I'm going to do preachers, which I am, then that's not going to be a problem. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be doing unilateral work for arms. Why? I used to hate unilateral work because it took longer. I just want to so I'd always do bilateral, so it was quicker. But only recently, sort of the leverage scientist guys, which are big on TikTok right now, they made me aware of, you know, they're hyper aware of fatigue management, because to have the best possible growth, your fatigue needs to be the lowest. So it's you know, it's within your interest to try and keep your fatigue as low as possible. Bodybuilding is a bit weird. You want to stimulate the perfect amount and then be in pure parasympathetic rest and recovery. Yeah, I'll talk about that more in detail another time. But anyway, if I was to do bilateral, I'm bringing in a lot of body English, core, bracing my core, without realising you're actually building more fatigue than if I was just to do one arm at a time, lean, like resting like this, nice and easy, nice and easy. Literally, I've just worked my tricep, and that's why. Loads of stuff coming out like on TikTok that I've always thought that went against the science. Like low volume, I've thought this for years. There was some other stuff as well, I can't quite remember it right now. I'm knackered. Anyway, let's do this set. We'll go for anywhere between 4 to 8 reps ideally. If it falls short or goes a bit above, doesn't matter really at all. I'll just adjust it for the second set. Oh yeah, why am I doing this tricep push down? So I always used to do overhead work because I was a big believer in the stretch mediated hypertrophy. Just still am to a certain degree, but it come to my awareness that pressing already hits sort of the outer head of the tricep, and if I was to do overhead that hits the outer head, supposedly that biases it, right? So really I want to bias the long head, the inside part here. And you do that by doing arms tucked by your side, push downs. Oi, what's going on here? So I could either do this or I could do Carter extensions. I do love Carter extensions, but this is my favourite tricep exercise in a minute, so I'm just going to do this. That felt a bit funny then, and luckily I never get injured anymore because I train slow, I know my body, I train with such low volumes and I have so much rest, I don't build up any niggles and stuff. A lot of people have injuries and stuff because they're doing an hour-long chest workout, messing up their shoulder, and then they're doing chest again 3 days later doing the same thing. Even if you did chest once a week and you're doing like an hour and a half, just constant pressing, you can mangle up your ligaments, tendons. Anyway, I felt that a little bit, and I do always sleep on my right hand side, so sometimes I do get a bit of neck, shoulder, elbow problems. So you do have to be mindful about little things like that. But luckily, like I said, nice and slow. Now when I do the next set, I'll be a little bit warmed up. And while we rest, do some biceps. We're going to do the Mundi curls. Nice and easy. If I was to just do standing curls, oh, it's so much harder. Like, even if I was doing one arm at a time, bracing the core afterwards, I'd be knackered. Especially a 3 rep set. Last set of triceps, just up the weight a little bit. Sometimes this is a little bit nicer on the elbow joint versus the preacher curl because there is some give here. So the shoulder can take a little bit of the pressure, take it off the elbow. Not always the best thing, but it can help. Also, a really big thing I learned recently after 16 years, thanks to the leverage guys, was that the eccentric part of the rep might not be as important as I thought. I used to think it was more important than the concentric. And I always knew mechanical tension was the biggest driver of hypertrophy, like at least in my subconscious. And somebody said, I was debating with someone, or at least asking one of these guys, like, how can you say the eccentric's not as important? Like, explain it to me. And they went to me, you think with concentric contractions, so the pushing up or the contracting of the muscle, you don't really hit the effective reps until it starts getting hard. Now, eccentrically, so when the muscle's lengthening, we're way stronger, something like 40% stronger. So the weights that we're using to go up and down are nowhere near heavy enough to even challenge the muscle eccentrically. That's why eccentric reps are nowhere near as important, because you'd have to be using way more weight. You'd have to have somebody assist you to help you, like either get it up or lower it so you could do the eccentric. I was like, oh, as soon as they told me that, I was like, yeah, that makes complete sense. So really, yeah, I was just like, so the eccentric ain't as important as I thought, at least in a traditional sense. Doesn't mean you shouldn't slow it down though. A lot of these guys, because of that, they skip it. But for loads of reasons, like mind muscle connection, accuracy, execution, and safety, the biggest of them all, going down slowly or lowering it or lengthening slowly is crucial to longevity in bodybuilding. Right, that's triceps done. Could have got that third rep. So obviously I train very slow. Sometimes if you don't come out of the hole rapidly, you know what I mean, you don't have the momentum to help you get through it, which is why on the fourth rep, I was able to get that up quite comfortably because I powered out of the hole. So that's why sometimes when you're counting reps religiously and logging it all, there's so many variables that keep it inconsistent that sometimes logging isn't the best thing to do like everyone thinks it is, because there's so many little variables that can happen. But for the most part, I do advise it for beginners and intermediates. Anyway, let's go. Yeah, I often struggle a bit more with my right side on biceps as well. So I've got a little bit of a shorter insertion on that side from birth, don't know why. And yeah, the shorter insertion does make me struggle a little bit more, even though I've got 4 clean reps. Felt tougher though. Right, what's next? I've done legs, so I've done quads, done arms. Next in the priority for me is chest. Obviously I'm a bloke, everyone wants a big chest. Chest, arms and quads, they're my main ones. But then we've got back, that's a strong point, that's going completely last. So shoulders, they're a strong point, they're going last. So that means chest, hamstrings, calves, forearms, and then we'll do back and rear delts. But yeah, let's do chest. Now, I never liked these prime presses because I didn't give them a fair go. I never used them with no weight on them and they felt a bit weird. And I've used some of the prime like row, incline row and stuff, didn't like it. Prime preach girl, didn't like it, so I wrote it off. But now I've given these a proper go, I love them. So, yeah. Gonna load the mid-range mostly with a little bit of the stretch range. I've been getting doing 50 a side for the last 2 sessions. So let's try 60 a side. Hopefully I've got stronger, even though I've been dieting like ridiculously. Need a 10 and a 20, come on. Usually I like to press really narrow. And the narrow grip is these ones, but that makes it way too front delt dominant and a little bit too tricep dominant. So I was trying to hold it here with my palm open, but it felt weird. But anyway, when I held it here like normally, it feels good. And it's still narrow enough for my liking because it comes in as well. Anyway, let's do it. Which is weird because a lot of people like doing chest really wide. I love doing chest tight like this, or a little bit out, and I don't know why, I just feel it more. I've never seen somebody say it's better for the chest. They always say closer, it's better for the delts and triceps, other than the upper pecs. They do benefit from a closer grip, which is obviously what we all want, so I'll stick to it. But this is a lot of weight, so I'd be happy with 2 to 4 really slow reps. I'm gonna go extra slow just to make sure I don't hurt myself. Anyway, let's go. Three, 2. Ooh. Ooh, that was tough. That was very tough. That was a grind, that 3rd rep. So all I've done is I've took a 20 off either side from the top peg, which makes it harder at the bottom. So I should go from 3 reps to about 6 to 8. Right, we've been training as long as me. You can break the rules, so to speak. I sort of program on the fly quite often. Not program on the fly, but I like adjust what I'm doing on the fly. You've got to remember, I've been training coming up to 16.5 years. I say that all the time. But my shoulders, like I said, are a bit of a strong point. I know I said I'd do back last, but I think I'm just going to do hamstrings, calves last, because they're right next to each other in the back corner. So I'm going to do probably one of my favourite back exercises, the seal row. No one ever really does it. They always prefer doing bent over rows. And I haven't really done rows in a couple of years consistently. I've always done pull downs. I completely left doing rows because I was doing my rear delt row, which hit my upper back really well. But years ago, back when I was doing big workouts, hitting out, doing all the exercises, this was my favourite back exercise because I used to see like Matt Ogus always do it. And it's like a bent over row, but you've obviously got the support for the lower back, and I've always had a bit of a dodgy back running in my family, so I loved it, and I got really strong with it. I was able to do 3 plates a side. But anyway, we're going to do it lat focused, so keeping the elbows tucked. Last time I did it, I really felt it in my rear delt, so I might not have to do the rear delt row after. And because my upper back and rear delts are a strong point now, I'd be happy to skip them if this feels good. And then just go do lateral raises, hamstrings, calves. Anyway, let's crack on. Yeah, one reason I'm liking doing the seal row at the minute, I mean, I've only done it once recently, is because I always do, for back, the main thing I do for my lats is lat pull downs. And they're usually harder at the top in the lengthen position, which is what I usually go for the stretch. But, because most muscles respond better when the tension's higher at length, which means either in the mid or lengthen range. But it's good to switch it up and hit a muscle where, you know, in all ranges. So the seal row gets hardest in the contracted position. And I haven't really done rows, like I said, for like consistently for years. So I haven't really hit that contracted bit well. So let's give it a go. Last time I did these, I think I was getting 100 for about 5 reps. We do it close grip. I used to do it quite wide, trying to hit my upper back, but we do it quite narrow. It's got this nice little dip for the face. Hopefully the mic don't get all messed up in there. Ooh, let's go. Oh, let's leave the mic there this time. Probably got all muffled up last time. Right, let's go. That took it out of me, I can't lie. I'm about a year, I'm just over a year into a diet, basically. So whoever's dieted for over 6 months knows exactly what I'm feeling right now. Diet fatigue. Even though my volume and everything's managed, do you know what I mean? When you've been dieting a year, things get tough. Come on. It's very tempting. It's very tempting to, you know, when I was hitting failure there, it's very tempting to take a big, massive breath in between reps and brace my core as hard as I can. Yes, that would make me so much stronger, but it would tax me so much more. And I don't want to bring in my core, I literally just want to train my back. So hit failure there. I know lately I've been preaching leave a rep in the tank, but I've got 16 years of training to failure, hard wiring to try and undo, and it's quite hard, to be honest. I always forget, or I just, basically I forget. Right, let's get side delts out of the way. Because they're a strong point, I'm only going to do 1 set. Jesus, that was tough. Right, let's go. On to hamstrings and calves. And forearms, before I forget. Yes, I might not even do calves and forearms. Yeah, I might have to skip them. They've got 3 line leg curls here. This one Nautilus, this one Prime. Now Nautilus and Prime are really good brands, but this, don't even know what brand it is. It is very good, so I'm going to do this one. Let's go straight into it. Right, this is what I'm doing for forearms, nice and easy. I've never trained forearms like I said before. And I'm not doing both sides of the forearms, I'm doing an experiment to see if I can even grow them first and foremost. So I'm just doing the bit I find more important, which is top of the forearm. So I'm just going to brace one part of it like this.